of let Lebanon back into that game. I've not seen a score yet on the Patrick Henry Hurley game. Rural Retreat defeats Grayson County 15-7. Georgia with Oliver Marion 40-6. No reports yet that I've seen on Lehigh and J.I. Burton. Holston, it goes final. They defeat John Battle 18-13.
Oh, wow.
And Galax 42-0 over Carroll County.
Homecoming has bitten the Trojans. Well, with all that said, again, Gate City falls to 1-2 on the season, 0-1 in conference play. They will start the gauntlet, as we mentioned in the preview shows. And again, this will be the difficult section of the schedule. Going to Ridgeview, going to Union, going to George Wythe. It all begins next week in Clintwood. Again, Ridgeview took care of business tonight against a pretty good Wise Central team. Be interested to see, talking to Coach Housewright and see what they see on the film, getting ready for the Wolfpack. Of course, it's going to be Adkins right, Adkins left. What happened tonight with Reed, I don't want to see 2.0, but, of course, 4 turnovers in the ball game, what do you do? So,
well, again, like I said, and of course, coulda, woulda, shoulda. We could all wish and what if the rest of the night, but you take away those 14 points that South scored off of those turnovers, put them back on Gate City's side, you have a completely different ball game. And Gate City honestly was going in to score on 2 of those 3 turnovers. And
then that one, they set them up, on the 8-yard line. You can't give a pretty good – and again, hats off to South. Had a great game plan. They weren't going to beat themselves tonight. They were going to run and run and run and run some more. They really didn't try to throw it at all. When they did, they were able to be successful. Of course, some come back on penalties, but fact of the matter is, they didn't beat themselves, and Gate City did. So 42-12, the final from Legion Field here. So we will be back on the air Wednesday night for the Blue Devils live weekly radio show. Again, that from the Campus Drive-In at 6:30. Then we'll be on the road next week at Clintwood, going on air probably around 6 o'clock, maybe a few minutes after. Depends on if we get there. Depends on which time zone, which will be. So, of course, you will be celebrating homecoming at Dobbins-Bennett High School, taking part in a time-honored tradition for the band, I guess.
Well, actually, they've not done this in about 25, 26 years.
I thought they did every 5 years. Maybe I just
we've done the band at Dobbins-Bennett's a huge deal. Most people that aren't in band talk about it being another sport. Their football team members actually go to the band competitions to cheer for the band.
Right.
But alumni have stepped up if the band's away at competition. We played a few football games in the stands, but we were invited to march the pregame show, so we'll come in, do the war hoop, Rocky Top, school song, team runs on the field. They're estimating there's supposed to be somewhere in the neighborhood of about 1,000 of us. So that's too good of an opportunity to pass up. I committed to that before I saw the Gate City schedule, so what do you do?
And like I said, we'll miss you, but again, we appreciate everything that you do. Talking about that, and was talking the other day. That's going to be 1,000 people that's not been in high school or very active probably for the last little bit. Do you think everybody's got the wind to make it through?
The last time that we did an alumni band, there were people there. I think the class of 54 was the oldest, and all the way up to the previous year. So I'm assuming it's going to be a mixture. I graduated in 91, so I'll be kind of right in the middle probably.
Biggest question, will there be EMTs ready? Will there be like a line outside of
I think all we're going to have to do is kind of march across the field probably in a block formation and then not get run over as the team comes on the field.
So if we do hear of some casualties, we'll please keep us up to date. Please text, let us know you're okay. And
I may put a GoPro on my head.
That'd be awesome.
Catch the action live.
That would
be a Gate City Sports Radio exclusive.
Yes, we will be broadcasting from two different spots. So, and of course now they've got Hardin Valley. Is that correct?
Hardin Valley's this week, yes, which just got knocked off by Science Hill last week. So who knows though? I would have thought that would mean an easy game for Dobbins Bennett, but after Science Hill is taking the fight to Elizabeth, and now I'm not quite so sure.
Yeah, Greenville, a very good football team. I mean, and do it, yeah, at home and to be interested to see how that game does turn out because, of course, the Tribe will be taking on the Hilltoppers here in a few weeks too. So, of course, homecoming. Anyway, what do you say? All righty, so – again, good luck to you next week on that. Of course, you'll be with us on the preview show or the weekly show.
Absolutely. Would not miss it.
On Wednesday night. So, but we will be broadcasting. We'll have the Blue Devils next Friday night. Again, we'll be at Clintwood, Ridgeview, and Gate City as Gate City will look to try to even their schedule at 2-2 and even their schedule up in the district at 1-1. So, with all that being said, 4 hours and 5 minutes into this broadcast, we say good night. Again, for Chris Carr, this is Joe Carter. You've been listening to the home of Blue Devil Sports. This is Gate City Sports Radio. Good night.
You are listening to the home of Blue Devil Sports. This is Gate City Sports Radio.